Alrighty then, I hope the wind isn't messing with this camera too much. You can hear what I'm saying. But this subject right here, when I began studying this King's Ranch, it is the most complicated thing. Oh my gosh. If I went into all the connections and all of the familial ties and genealogies and stuff, and who these people are connected to, I'd be here for 3 or 4 hours. This is ridiculous. But right now, and this is a doozy, but this is some of the work being done at the same time in the 1840s, 50s, and all that of the Rothschilds. Now, what were they going to use to take the czars out and make sure it wasn't replaced with the same thing? They were going to use communism. Now, who did communism? Where did this come from? Well, it was somebody's idea. They gotta have differing ideologies to keep everybody separate, because if we're all separated, we're not fighting the problem, the real issue. We're fighting amongst ourselves. Karl Marx is the founder of communism, socialism, Marxism, and all that. Socialism was around a little bit before that, and he kind of compounded. When you go to study Marx, you find that him and his wife were, living in a commune in France and all this other kind of stuff, and they were, barely feeding themselves and helping the proletariat, the working men, rise against the industrial complex and, fighting for their rights and all this other kind of stuff. And you get this idea that they were living really poor. Well, let's examine this for just a second. I don't know whether to start with Karl Marx or if I should start with his wife. Let's start with his wife, Jenny. Jenny von Westphalen. Properly known as Duchess Jenny von Westphalen. She is a direct descendant of King James, as in King James Version of the Bible. That is a video coming up. You are not going to want to miss it. That's on her mother's side. When you dig deeper, what do you find? Karl Marx's grandmother. Didn't we just see somebody else's grandmother? They were related to the Phillips. Or they married into the Phillips family. The Phillips family was the richest family in Belgium. As in Philips Electronics, as in Philco, those cheap radios in every single Ford car and truck back in the day. But let's check this out a little bit further. Karl Marx's grandmother, her sister married into filthy, filthy rich money. But Karl Marx's grandmother's cousin, first cousin, was married to none other than Nathan Mayer Rothschild. Does that kind of cast a little bit of doubt that they were living hand to mouth, barely able to feed themselves in France, while they're helping the proletariat rise against their relatives? And when you examine the stuff that Karl Marx did, not what he said, but what he did, was he'd be telling the people, now's the time to rise up and strike and all this other kind of stuff. Strike for the proletariat and the worker and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, are you crazy? We just got great benefits. We just got raises. We just got this. We just got that. You must be crazy. And the people would shut him down. And then, when the people were ready to rise, say, it's time to strike. It's time to attack these industrialists and this, that, and the other thing. Karl Marx would come up and say, no, now's not the time. We don't have enough people. We don't have this. We don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And he'd just be throwing confusion into the whole thing. That was his job. But communism was going to be used as the replacement for the czars. In studying this King's Ranch, I brought my notes with me. Oh, and speaking of my notes, I should have had my notes when I did that other one. John Wilkes Booth was not engaged to a New York Democrat's daughter. It was a New Hampshire senator, and I'm not sure if he was a Democrat or not, but same thing. Karl Marx's wife, Jennifer, her mother's family were the Dukes of Argyll of Scotland, their most powerful aristocratic family, and they're Jewish. It turned out Jenny's brother was also best friends with Karl Marx, which is supposedly how they met. And as it turns out, looking at the bloodlines and everything, Karl Marx and Duchess Jenny van Westphalen were actually cousins. Okay, Jenny's brother came to Sisterdale, Texas in 1847, which the King's Ranch was founded in 1850. Sisterdale was supposedly founded by a guy named Nicholas Zink, and these people were coming to the South Texas area, Adel-Severian, Sisterdale, New Braunfels, and they bought up huge acreages in the counties of Fayette, Llano, Gillespie, Como, Austin, and some others, I guess, which became the King's Ranch. One of these people that came to the King's Ranch was a lady named Irene Marshall King, granddaughter of Baron Musbach. So these weren't just normal, everyday, working Jewish people. These were aristocratic Jewish people coming to South Texas. So who is connected with the King's Ranch? How about, let's list some of the governors that are related to the King's Ranch. How about right now the governor, Greg Abbott? Rick Perry, Thomas Campbell, Hubbard, Hamilton, Clark, and Wood are all connected to the King's Ranch, as well as somebody that came directly out of the King's Ranch, Sam Houston. But guess who else? A man named Jeff Jorgensen. For some reason, he changed his name to Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Let's go one better. Who else? Bill Gates of Microsoft. And in studying this, I found out that Bill Gates would be a filthy rich billionaire if Microsoft had never stolen DOS from all those computer guys. Bill Gates was the CIA's little mole in that group of computer builders. Bill Gates' grandfather, he had a bunch of banks. And he threw all the banks together and bought some more banks and bought some more banks. And then he combined them all into one and called it First Interstate Bank. Recently, Bill Gates and his daughter were not allowed into South Africa because there was discrepancies with their birth certificates. Not just the daughter, not just Bill Gates, both of them. This was kept very quiet. It was only in one little newspaper in South Africa, but for some reason they were not allowed because there was something wrong with their birth certificates. I wonder what that might be. I wonder why would Bill Gates and his daughter need tampered birth certificates? But anyway, those are the important points on this one, or I'd be here for hours and hours, because these people are connected to each other. They're connected to everybody. I mean, John Kerry's in here. Oh my gosh, there's so many people in this bloodline that went to King's Ranch. And like I said, these are blue blood, aristocratic, royalty, huge industrialists, bankers, Goldman Sachs. Oh my gosh, everybody's connected to King's Ranch. And this was a really convoluted study, and I'm glad I'm done with this video. But upcoming is King James and Sir Francis Bacon. Hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.